Well, good evening. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Get to Know broadcast. We're going to talk to Adam Chelton this evening, and I am so glad that you're going to take time. Adam Chelton is a good friend of mine, and I'm very excited to be able to have him in the studio with me. And we're going to be sharing his story this evening, and he's going to be telling us about how he has overcome the stigma of a mental illness, as well as the stereotypes that go along with that. He's going to share some experiences about when he was young, and we're gonna get to learn something here. We're going to get the opportunity to find out what he does to be able to overcome this situation and come out of it enjoying life. And so I want to, without further ado, say welcome, Adam Chelton. How are you doing this evening?
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. I'm
You're
good.
very welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Now, where are you at? I know you're in the UK, but I'm trying to remember the exact town that you're living in.
I'm actually in Lancashire.
Lancashire.
That's that's up the north.
Okay, so that, like, how far would that be from London?
On the train, you're talking about 3 hours.
Okay, so a bit of a ride then, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome. Okay. Well, I've known Adam for a while, since about June of last year, as a matter of fact. We were in a writing course. We were learning how to, write a book properly and structure it, and a whole bunch of great information. And so we both learned and grew through that experience and became good friends. And I'm just blessed to have Adam as, a friend. I learn from him. We've actually done a get to know before. We've had him on our morning broadcast on Wednesdays, because Wednesdays is Health and Wellness Wednesday. And we try and talk about things that are going to be able to improve our life from the standpoint of health and wellness. We're talking about mind, body, and soul. Tonight, we're going to be talking about mental illnesses. And Adam suffers from dyspraxia, as well as it's within the autism spectrum. And just correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's within the autism spectrum. And as a result, he deals with anxiety. He can deal with depression. He can deal, with suicidal tendencies, and as well as, if I'm now, correct me on this one, because this is a toughie. But I thought you said to me homicidal tendencies at time. You didn't like.
no, I've never done homicide. No,
Oh,
but I've
that's good.
self-harmed. I've
Self-harm.
self-harmed.
There you
Yeah.
go. So self-harmed. So thank goodness you're not out there to kill somebody. No, I'm just kidding with you. You're a lover. I know that. And so wonderful. This is really wonderful. And so what I'd like you to do for us, honestly, here is just tell us a little bit about your childhood. I know you had quite a childhood. At about age 3, you ended up going to get some psychological counseling, and you were
Yeah,
concerned about getting into, nursery school because of the abuse that was going on at home.
yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Um, yeah. What I've not had a very good life, can I say? My life's actually started just recently.
Hmm.
Because I was abused growing up. And I actually kept that to myself for 21 years,
Wow.
being abused. Um, I was punched in the face by my own father at 3 years old because I couldn't ride a bike. And that was probably linked to my dyspraxia. I don't know. But yeah, it's so hard. It really is.
Well, it is difficult, and I know that you said that, in your bio you talked about, dealing with mental health issues at a
Yeah.
very young age, as well as uh, not feeling really comfortable about going out into public, because you were
Oh,
what, trying to hide the fact you were ashamed, apparently, of the situation.
yeah,
You
obviously,
might
like
want to
mom.
by the way, center yourself a little bit more into the picture there.
Is that better?
A little bit more, I would say. I don't know. Your left is my right, probably, or
There you
something.
go. There you go.
But your face is kind of half cut off. There you are.
Yeah.
That's good.
Right.
We want people to
Um,
see you. Okay, so tell
right.
us.
March last year, I'll jump straight to March last year. I had a severe because of a also sensory overload, because of everything I've been dealing with, and I attempted to drown myself, and I didn't want to die that day. I didn't, but I've had all this saying this is the way forward. You can do it. To get under that water and stay there. And after that,
You you
yeah.
you walked out into a lake or something is what you did now, or what?
Um,
You were gonna drown yourself.
well, when I was underwater and my eyes were closed,
Yes.
I felt
Yes.
I knew I was in dark place, a really dark place, and I
Mhm.
saw this hand pulling me up, and I had this just one voice. Like suddenly, those 10 voices just disappeared,
Mhm.
straight replaced with one voice. I don't know who it is. I probably will never know who it is, but they were saying, "You are enough.
Yeah,
You
enough.
are enough."
And you I recall that you said there was like a hand reaching out with light and it kinda pulled you back out of the water
Yeah,
and you heard enough, and it's like, okay. So what did you think at that point there? That was about 11 months ago, as I recall now, right?
it was 11 months ago.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
After that, I was still shaken. I was
Mhm.
scared. I couldn't even go walk down the steps, in my own steps, for 8 days. After
Wow.
that, 8 days, I didn't eat.
Well, I want you to share with us, okay, we know that, um and I appreciate you sharing this. This has gotta probably be pretty difficult for you, I can
It
imagine,
is.
coming out and admitting something like that, I want you to know how brave I think you are, and, you know, it takes a lot of guts to do this, but I think I know you, and I think I know that
Yeah.
you don't really, it's not about what other people think anymore as much in your life as it is about,
Mm,
you loving yourself and you
yeah.
feeling confident and not being afraid of what the next guy says, right? So what I'd like you to try to do for our viewers is to describe what you're doing to overcome the stereotype and of course these emotions that you were feeling with that just must have been so overwhelming that what was the turning point? What helped you get over the fact of I want to die to, I think I want to live.
Well, on that 8th day, I was actually doing a fundraiser for autism, where I walked, talking about 30,000 steps in a
Mhm,
week.
mhm.
I did it. I did it. And
So exercise.
yeah, I exercised.
Mhm,
And it was actually not just my partner, but it was actually my daughter,
mhm.
who actually encouraged me. Like when I was walking, I was literally falling behind a little bit because I didn't want because I was scared because it was the first time in over a week I actually touched fresh air. And she held my hand, which she's never done before, and she said, "Come on, Dad, you can do it."
I want to
And
read this comment here because I think it's really important. And Jeffrey Berger is watching, and he's saying, "Adam, you're doing awesome. Sharing your story. He appreciates the fact that you're being so transparent, so authentic, and we all have a purpose. And once we
yeah,
find it, life is amazing because you become a warrior for the cause." And
yeah,
and so you got to the point where you started enjoying life, and now today you're referred to as I call you our dyspraxic champion, and I love that because in fact
yeah, I do.
you are a champion,
Yeah,
and um, So tell us then what you're doing as a first aider. Your whole idea is to help other people.
Yeah. Now,
And okay, so tell us about that. How does that work then?
well, I was just going online because I thought to myself, I need to do something with my life. I can't stay cooped in because that will set off depression again, and it'll just go straight back downhill. And I don't. I want to do everything in my power to prevent that.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
I went to I booked on this course, this mental health course,
mhm.
and it was a 3 day mental to become a mental health first aider. 3 day course. Yes, it clashed for my birthday last year, but I didn't care. I did 2 days of it. It was really hard.
Mhm.
Come to the third day, because I didn't sleep that night before, because I spent 24 hours up, awake, talking to two people to keep them alive. And
But I recall you
yeah,
saying something about the fact, and Kimberly says hi, by the way. Thank you for
hello.
watching, Kimberly. Now you told me the other day that within like 24 hours, apparently
Yeah,
somebody that you know was thinking that they didn't want to live anymore, and you talked
yeah,
to them, and so you kind of got them around the corner, is what it sounded like
I
to me.
did. Yes, I did. Yeah,
That is so awesome, Adam. The fact that you're willing to reach out and support somebody, and because I know that for myself, many days there were not days. We're talking years, really, that I just went to bed feeling like this is enough. I've had enough.
mm,
I'm no good. I'm letting people down. The world would be better off without me. And so, I didn't, well, and this is the learning process for me. I said
yeah,
I didn't try and take my life physically. I didn't go try and drown myself. But what I did do is I did try and drown myself with alcohol. And so, yes, in fact, I was trying to kill myself with the
yeah,
alcohol. And it was like, come on, really? And so, yes, I have to be honest that, in fact, I was trying to do the same thing with it doesn't matter how you do it, whether it's drugs or alcohol or driving too fast or running through red light knowing you might get run down, whatever it might be. The fact is that there is hope there, right, Adam? And I want you to tell us you have a routine,
I
and
do.
tell us about your routine because yes, do that.
Well, my routine is basically encouraging people to to actually believe in themselves,
Mhm.
because on the other side, in the dark place, because I speak to people and I try to keep people alive every single
Mhm.
day. And yes,
So awesome.
it's draining, but I don't care because what I'm doing, because I'm still in remission. I'm still trying to recover myself,
Right, sure.
and what I do is I help people to help me, and
Yes.
that's what I do.
Yes.
Because
It does work that way, doesn't it? And
it
I
does.
just wanna, ask our viewers, anybody that's watching, welcome for watching. We really appreciate you taking time. If you've got some questions for Adam as well, let's hear those questions. Put them down in the comments, and we'll ask Adam, if there's something that you're interested in knowing. And the other thing I'd love for you to do would be to share this out, do share this video out. If you know someone that this can help, if you know someone that's in a dark place, could use a little bit of advice about how you can come out of the darkness from very from terrible thinking to the light and enjoy life, let them know about this video because I'll tell you what, Adam Shelton here, I'm just so proud of him and I'm just so blessed that he's part of, my life. Um, so, you know, I was saying though, because I wanted people to share, right? Share this
Please,
out.
please,
Let
yeah,
people know about this, okay?
yeah.
Now, um, getting back, I want to get back, and maybe I've lost that thought. Now I had it back a second ago. Um, that when you give, of yourself
mm,
that you receive as well. That karma, concept
yeah.
of the energy I give, the energy I get back. And so how did you feel the other night after you were talking to your friends, and how'd that make you feel?
Relieved,
Mm,
relieved, and I had a better understanding of mental health myself. Now, I've got books upstairs. Like I've just
mhm,
recently got one because I didn't know PTSD, which I suffer from due to childhood trauma, which is traumatic stress disorder, that can kill you. I did not
mhm,
know that until I read that book. And I actually had a bit of a reality check to
mhm,
myself. I gave myself a bit of a reality check. And I realized that I can't get stressed anymore with myself. I need to keep as calm as possible with myself and
mhm,
stop being selfish and keep my mind overloaded. So
mhm.
I've learned to do that within a day.
That's so wonderful. I know that I've seen you go through some low points, over the time that I've known you. Certainly, you've had some difficulties, but now you've got a lot to be proud and happy about.
I
You're
do.
you're engaged, I understand, right?
I am, yeah. I am.
So congratulations for that. So you also, I want to know about this, and I'm sure that the viewers do too, if you're willing to share it. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine too. Now, I know that you're an advocate in a lot of ways. You're advocate for mental health
Yeah.
awareness, obviously,
Yes.
of certainly suicide awareness,
Yep.
because we want to help these people that are thinking, life's not worth living, because in
Mm,
fact,
it
we're
is.
both, yeah, we're both here to be able to say, you know what,
Yes.
you can change your thinking. Now that takes a lot of work. It does. It takes a
Yeah.
lot of consistency. It takes, repetition of positive affirmations, surrounding yourself with the kind of people that you want to be like,
Yeah.
taking care of yourself from a mental health standpoint, and you're taking care of your mind, body, and your soul.
Yeah.
You got to
I
eat
am.
right. You got to get
Yeah.
rest. Now, what I was going to ask you is that you have a daughter. I want you to tell us about your daughter.
Well, I've actually got two daughters, but
Okay. Well, you know who I'm referring to, and that's good
I
to know
do.
that you get
I
to.
do.
Okay. Yeah.
I do. Well, she's been adopted out, and I've been fighting for nearly 5 years for her. But I believe she's out there. I know where she is, but I believe she's helping me in some way. Um, um, and I've not seen her in over a year. I've not
Hmm.
seen her. So it is hard, but I know I'm going to continue fighting this to the end. I've had friends coming up to me saying, "You're going to take this fight to your deathbed, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah,
So you want your daughter back. You want her back in your life, and so you've been
yeah,
working at that, and it's been a difficult road, I know, for you. It's been tough because you're fighting
yeah,
against bureaucratic situation. Um,
yeah."
but I know that you have the wherewithal to be able to just keep on moving forward, and so tell us what just keeps on pushing you forward. What is motivating you to do what you're
Well,
doing?
obviously going back to the hope, um, I relied on hope for
Hmm.
3.5 years, and I lost. I lost. So now I've got rid of the hope, and I've actually turned to believe in it,
You
to
having
the
faith,
belief.
yeah, and having that
Yeah,
faith, yeah.
yeah,
Faith is super important for sure. That believing in something that you can't necessarily
yeah.
see, knowing that you're trusting it will work out. And I
It
know that
will.
for myself, just acceptance of the situation, because sometimes things don't always work out the way that we planned them to work out. but I think that, the universe has a way of certainly providing an answer, and I think it's up to us to be able to identify that even though something might seem bad, there's some good there somewhere in that.
Yeah, yeah. I've always said where there's bad, there's good just round the
Mhm.
corner.
And I believe that there is. I think that's
Yeah,
one of the, the circle of life. It goes round and round and round. And well,
it
at the
does.
last stage of dealing with anything, particularly, difficult situations that we've experienced in our life, the
Yeah,
last process in healing is acceptance. And when
it
you get to
is.
that, yeah, and when you get to that acceptance standpoint, and I just want to share a little, I don't know what to call it, but just a story that I came up with, and it's a analogy.
Okay.
That life is like, um, rafting down a river, and I do that because, yeah, I've rafted down rivers before, okay? And it's rafted down a river, and that can be pretty dangerous as
Mm,
well, especially when you go over the rapids, and we all kind of have rapids in our life, there's no doubt. And then when you come off of those rapids, though, there's things called eddies. They're
yeah,
whirlpools, and the water is just going around in a circle, and when that raft gets into that eddy, it wants to suck you down because that's what in fact it is. It'll suck you right to the bottom, and that's what it
yeah,
wants to do. It wants to take you down and drown you, and it takes a lot of work to paddle your way
yeah.
out of that.
Do you know what?
Now
I
go ahead.
remember one experience where I went on a weekend away with some people who I don't speak to them anymore. I haven't done for over 10 years,
Mhm.
and obviously I remember going canoeing, and I struggle canoeing when I'm on my own. I really do. So, but I was doing it and
Mhm.
was coming down this. It was like a little mini waterfall. So everyone else was flying in front of me. They were making it look easy, but me, I was at the back, and
Mhm.
I struggled. And it's like my canoe tipped. I was literally going underwater, and the canoe was literally on top of me. And obviously, I could hear what the coach was saying back because he came back. He says, "What you need to do is you need to push that canoe off you."
Mhm.
And I don't know how, because I'd literally, from head to toe, I was underwater,
Mhm.
and I managed to reach up and push that canoe. I
The
managed to
adrenaline.
push it,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and obviously then I climbed to safety.
And so, see, this is the same thing as the end of my story with respect to paddling. It takes a lot of work. It just like takes a burst of energy. It takes, determination and a
Yeah,
will to want to survive. And as a result of that, once you get out of that eddy or get that canoe off your head so you can start breathing again,
yeah,
you get into the river and you keep on going down that river. You go down the
yeah,
river of life. And
yeah,
that's what it's about, is getting back onto that river of life. And because I know for myself, certainly, and I believe it for everybody, that life is made to enjoy. That we're not supposed to suffer,
of course.
but there can be suffering. There can be suffering. And the people that go through the suffering, like I have in my ways and how Adam has in his ways, can make us stronger. And then we use those experiences as our strength. And I know that that's what you've been doing there. Um, Now, you have a Facebook group as well. And
Global
so this is part
abilities.
of your first aider concept of helping people. So tell
Yeah.
us about your first Facebook group.
Well, I'm not really active on it, to be honest, because of how
Uh,
busy I really get. But
yes, sure,
it's
sure.
called Global Abilities UK, which I promote and basically get people to really look at the word disability,
Mhm,
because there is no such word as disability
mhm, mhm.
to
I
me.
agree. Right.
All you have to do is just take the first three letters off that. There you go. There you go.
I wanted to say this. I didn't read it at the beginning. I did take a few notes. But uh, other than the fact that he suffers from dyspraxia, but not suffer
Yeah.
so much anymore. But he's diagnosed. Let me just rephrase that. Diagnosed with the dyspraxia, and the depression, and the anxiety, and he's had suicidal thoughts. Well, so have I. Absolutely. And I've dealt with the depression and the anxiety stuff. But I don't think he or anybody else that is diagnosed with a mental health illness is ill.
No.
I'm going to say that. They're not ill. There's nothing really wrong with you. You are not less than because of that. My statement that I wrote down here was I think you and everybody else is gifted.
Yes.
You are gifted.
Yes.
And yes, it takes work to learn how to live within the parameters of those diagnoses, but yet you can come out of that and not fit into a box. And I don't think that you're part of that box type of thing. Now, I also want to talk about the fact that you've read a book, and I do see some questions here. So I want you to talk about the book. I'm going to take a look at these comments here because I asked the viewers to ask you some questions, and let's get to that part of it, okay?
Okay.
All right. So tell us about your book. It's called The End, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So you wrote that book. Why? Well, that's the book that you wrote when we were in the writing
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
The reason I wrote The End, because I felt like I was ready to go and share my experience with everyone else out there. And obviously, yes, I don't have the abusers in my life anymore. I don't. But the two words I've got for them is thank you, which people should be shocked about that. But no, they shouldn't.
Hmm.
Because end of the day, they have made me realize I can be this kind of person. Yeah, obviously I'm not the best at everything, but we all have our weaknesses. But I don't focus on the weaknesses, I focus on the strengths and what I can do rather than what I can't do, even
Hmm.
though there's no such word as can't. But yeah,
Well, there's the word can't. If you're willing to accept the fact that you can't do something, then you're not going to do something. Now, what I want to do is I want to go right here to Sandy. She has
okay.
a question for you, and it's uh, she wants to ask you, when someone says that they don't want to live, what do you specifically say to them? And apparently, the reason is she's asking because she was put in that position with a friend who suddenly tried to take her life, and she just doesn't know what to do or say. So, next time, she wants to know how to support someone
Okay.
when this happens. Tell us how we should be dealing with that.
Right. Well, if they want to die, they won't tell you. But if they're talking to you, saying I want to die, straight away, if they tell me they want to die, they want to not wake up the next day, I ask them three major questions. One is, do they want to die? Second is, do they have a plan to die? And third is, what reason? Like, what's caused this? What's triggered it?
Hmm.
And that's what I do.
So when then you're knowing what their motivation is
Yes.
for wanting to take their life, what would be the one thing that you would say to them that you feel like the other day? What do you think was that thing that you said, that key thing, or was it maybe all of it? Did I
Well,
turn them around?
the best thing anyone can do is when they see someone who's in crisis and wants to end their
Mhm.
life, is just keep talking to them. Just keep them talking, because what that will do is when they're talking to you about how they feel, and if you want to reverse back to you and how you feel it, talk about your experience, it'll
Hmm.
cause a bit of a distraction and it'll take their mind away from wanting to end their life.
Now I see that
That's what it is.
Jeffrey says is that there is hope, that we need to teach that we need to love ourselves first, right?
Yes.
And then we can help so many others. And I know that I've said this before, and it does start with that, because wouldn't you say that somebody that is in the darkness, thinking they're unworthy, that the world would be better off without them?
Yeah.
Do you feel? I know where I feel. It's that they don't really love themselves at that point.
I
And
have I have been in that situation, and it was actually last year where, even though I've got three beautiful kids, I've got a
right,
beautiful fiance. I Even though I didn't want to drown, my mind was literally with all these voices. I didn't think about me. I didn't think about my
yeah.
family. I didn't think about my friends or what the pain or anything. I didn't think about nothing. My mind was blank. It was.
Mhm.
But I, I'm glad I'm sitting here today talking.
I'm glad that you're sitting here talking with us too as well. And you know this man. We know this man. He is the
Yeah.
autistic champion, and that is Richard Fay, and he's written several books. Um,
Yes.
and a super dynamic guy. And as a matter of fact, was in our writing course when
Yeah.
we were doing this. Although I knew Richard prior to that, I've known him for quite a while as well. So, but he says, and I like this: autism spectrum disorder, or Asperger's, is a neurological condition, not mental
It
health.
is. It is.
Okay. So, what those diagnoses do is create the possibility for things like depression,
Yeah.
anxiety, and panic disorders, right? And so
Yeah.
that's the mental health part of it. And I appreciate you clarifying that for us, Richard, um, because I only know what I know. And what I do know is that I like to learn and I like to grow, and that I don't know it all. And so that's why I surround myself with as many people that I know that are making a positive impact, like yourself, Adam. And that's what this show is about: people that are making a positive
Well,
impact in others' lives.
obviously, because I've got Asperger's myself, which is autism, and I've got a son that's been diagnosed with autism himself. The one thing I had to do to understand it better is buy a book. And
Hmm.
ever since, and it was actually my son that encouraged me to start reading again. Now I've got upstairs a shelf
Right.
full of books, and obviously I'm going to buy more. But
Uh-huh.
the best book, and this is my recommendation, best book
Mhm.
to understand autism a lot more, is called The Reason I Jump. That it just clarifies it. It's just magic. It really is.
Okay. And so, can you repeat that again for the viewers?
Yeah, The
An
Reason I
excellent
Jump.
book, The Reason I Jump. Excellent
Yeah,
book to help you understand. Um, now,
autism.
Jeffrey is telling us that autism has a huge correlation to the imbalance of a microbiome.
I didn't know that.
Okay. Do you know what microbiome is?
No.
Yes? No. Okay. I don't either. So that makes two of us. So, that's something I'm gonna learn. And see, thank you, Jeffrey, for bringing that up, because that's what this is about, and that's why like the viewer interaction here, so that we can learn this stuff. And I think that he's got an answer for us now.
Yeah.
Microbiome is the science that's disrupting the health and wellness industry. Hippocrates first docu- first documented all disease starts in the gut. And so I have heard something about that, actually, as a matter of fact. Um, and so it is about an imbalance. There's just no doubt about that. Going back to what Richard Fay said, is that in fact, yes. Um, and I look forward, and I think we'll just mention that now too. I'm looking forward to having Richard Fay back on the program as well, and so we'll be bringing him in, and he can speak to the autism as well. And so my point is that, like Jeffrey's saying, your gut's your second brain.
It
It
is.
is. It is about what's going on from a health standpoint and from the chemicals in your gut is what he's referring to.
Mhm.
And so this is where, and I'm just a believer in the fact that uh, if you take care of yourself, study, learn, surround yourself with people that can help you, because I like to surround myself with people that know more than me so that I can learn from them, and uh, grow and learn every day with an open mind.
Yeah.
And so it is about the health and wellness, and I am trying to surround myself with those people that can educate me. I mean, I can talk from an aspect of, okay, yes, I felt like I didn't want to live. I don't feel that way anymore. And what I'm going to say next really is that the reason I've overcome this stuff, having been diagnosed with mild bipolar order disorder, um, is
Um,
my routine. Okay. And I say,
um,
go ahead.
yeah,
Go
because
ahead.
obviously I can see the comments here as well, and obviously to Brandis Hendricks, who's just joined
Hmm.
us,
Hmm.
because obviously she's got a son who's 3 in March. My recommendation, because I did this as well, because my son has been diagnosed with a speech and language disorder as well, and the best thing I taught him, introduced him to, was something called Makaton. What Makaton is, it's exactly similar to sign language. And the more he did that, because he became obsessed with this book, because I made that book myself from scratch. I did that, and it actually persuaded him to start talking.
Okay.
And and now he just won't shut up, and he's 8.
There you are. So I just put up the comment that Brandy is watching, and she was saying about how she really appreciated the broadcast, and how her son will be 3 in March, and that he's being tested now for autism, and he's also nonverbal. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that that is a big thing. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie that was so good. And I didn't get an opportunity to do some background research on like the movie that I wanted to just mention, but this is the deal. Like Jeffrey says, um, you know, let me just get this one out. Oh, let me get this one out here.
Oh,
So there is a lot of information. He's getting a lot of value from what we're talking about. I wanted to. He had a comment here. I wanted to. Oh, Richard Fay, about that. There's a lot of books, and that the blood washing, uh, but his gut health is really good according to the doctors. Okay, so he got it through blood poisoning though when he was young. And there's a lot of things that they're talking about these days that are creating this. There's, talk of the fact that big pharma, is created a lot of this by the medications that we're giving our kids because they are diagnosed with autism, or they're diagnosed with ADHD, and what's the answer? Put them on some meds. And so, from that standpoint, yes, I have heard about, yeah, that stuff is bad for you too. I mean, when you see these commercials on TV anymore, and they're running off this list of side effects, you're going, why would you even take that
yeah,
if
yeah.
that's the
I
case?
want to
I
take
mean, come
medication.
on, you know?
See, due to I have not taken a single tablet in over 2 years, because I describe tablets now as poison. And that's probably my mental health which is telling me that. but I don't want to. Like if I have a common cold, normally the
Mhm.
doctor will say just take some paracetamol, but I won't because I'm a first aider, not just
Mhm.
in mental health, in NHS as well.
Well,
I know
yeah,
how to look after myself.
yeah, exactly. Um,
Mm,
that's important. Now,
yeah,
I really appreciate Brandy's comments here. She's doing some therapies, is what she's working with her child,
good.
and she's refusing the meds. And I think that's good too. And I'm just going to tell a quick personal story here.
Okay.
Um, I don't know whether she's going to appreciate me for this one, but I don't think it's a problem. So my daughter diagnosed ADHD in third grade, right? And what I saw happen was this: I saw, okay, ADHD, couldn't focus, in class type of thing, real kind of hyper. Put her on meds, and I always hated the fact, honestly, that she was on the meds. I really did. I just something inside of me told me that's not an answer. There's other ways to get healthy without having to take medications.
Mm,
But what I saw happening was, and then it evolved, into authority defiance disorder, and bipolar. And the older she got, the diagnosis was changing. And it's like, what the heck is going on here? I still to this day hold the truth for myself that she didn't need the medications. When they diagnosed me with bipolar and put me on these meds, and I was like a walking zombie with this stuff. It was crazy. It's like, I'm not taking this stuff because I wanted to function, right? And stop taking it.
yeah.
I've gotten into a routine of a healthy routine. I get up early. I put good information into my brain. I use gratitude, affirmations, and try and take care of myself as best I can so that by doing this, I well, I had to forgive myself, right, for all the stupid stuff I'd done. you know,
Yeah.
we have to forgive ourselves, get to that love like Jeffrey was talking about. And when I got to the love point and I forgiven myself, life started getting better. And I don't need them. I think it's all comes down to thought and environment. And if you're in a bad environment, and then I think that there's so much stuff in our foods anymore and the medications that it's like, holy cow, be careful about what you're eating.
Yeah.
And preservatives. I mean, maybe after we die, we don't even go away after all those preservatives we've been eating. Who knows? Uh, Silly. Anyways, um, bottom line is, good healthy routines, I believe firmly, make the difference because we can have neurochemical issues, but
Mm,
if we treat ourselves properly, don't you think that you can make a difference from that aspect of doing that
yeah.
routine? Tell us how your routine has worked for you?
Well, obviously, every dinner time, which is about 12 o'clock midday, you go live with nature. So
I
obviously,
do.
I tune into that, and
Okay.
yeah, yeah, I may not do the affirmations every day
Right.
because I've got quotes dotted around my house which
Uh-huh.
I'll look at, and also after I had that anxiety attack last March,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
even went through pain of getting a tattoo on my neck just saying life for suicide
Right.
awareness.
Yeah.
So this is what I do. I am now I've made a plan of action for the next 3 years. I know I'm a bit
Mhm.
over dramatic, I'm a bit optimistic, but I don't care because end of the
Dream
day,
big.
it's all about you got to dream big, thinking outside the box. This is why I'm going to start going around the country
Mhm.
talking about mental health because not much has been done about it.
And I just it is mental health, I suppose. There's a stigma that tends to go when you say
Mm,
those words, but you know what? And I don't like it. And it's like, I've been thinking a lot about it, and it's like, I just everybody's got different stuff,
we do.
you know, and what this is about is learning the routines and the things that you can do with
Yeah.
starting to love yourself, of course, that in gratitude, doing the things that are necessary to enjoy life as best we can with what we've got.
Of course.
You
Of
know, and that's where I
course.
go back to the I said you're gifted. I learned so much from you. And people, that have autism are some of the smartest people I know.
Exactly.
It's like, come on
Exactly.
now. Yeah. And so I'm just uh I guess what's the word? Inspired. I'm inspired by yourself, and what you're doing to try and help people. Um Jeffrey Brandy doesn't do the meds. Um Jeffrey supports that, bottom line is you've got a 3-year plan. You're trying
I
to
do.
make a difference.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just going to hit you. All right. I know
Go
you
for it.
got a book called The End. I've worked with you on
Yes.
this book.
Yes.
We have.
We have.
When is that book coming out? Let's just tell us now. I want you to commit
Oh, for God's
as to, I know.
sake.
I want you to tell us now. When is it coming out? When do you want to make this thing happen? You've been I know. I've been working on my book and it still isn't done. But I
To
think
be
people need to
honest,
hear this because I've read it. I've helped you with it. I know what it says.
you have, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
But the release date, I don't know. That's my answer. I don't know.
You don't know. This year?
Don't know. Probably not because obviously I've got other
Probably.
things to do. But
You're so
when-
busy helping people, do
exactly,
doing your group.
exactly, exactly.
Tell us
What
what
Jeffrey
you're
said. No
doing
pressure.
right there in
No
your
pressure.
town. Okay, yeah,
No
no,
pressure.
I put some pressure on you there. It's okay. What are you doing in your hometown tomorrow
What
about
am I doing in my own town tomorrow?
about
Um,
you've got something in this plan.
I am, and it's getting people together.
Yes.
That's what
Okay.
I'll be doing. Getting people together.
Well, you're on the internet and you're interacting with people all the time. Is that
I
true?
am.
Yeah.
I do.
And so, you know, you've got a goal. Tell us what the goal is. The main goal.
The goal is because I'm going to sound like a big kid here now, but February last year, when mental health became a registered disability, part of the Equality Act, I was jumping for joy because my biggest target ever is to make disability discrimination, so like dyspraxia, autism, mental health, anyone that discriminates it, they should be locked up. Simple. They should be locked up for discriminating. No ifs, no buts. That's my aim.
There you go. It is about the discrimination. It is about people thinking that you fit some kind of a stereotype. And the fact of the matter is that if we allow people to tell us how we're supposed to be, and we buy that and we own that, well,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Now, what we're trying to send a message is you do not have to own somebody else's opinion of you or, the stereotype. It doesn't have to be you
Ah,
because we all have seeds of greatness within us and we just
yeah.
need to nurture those seeds. And it starts with self love and then it nurturing the mind and nurturing the body and the soul and getting to a point where we can enjoy every single day to the best of our ability is the key to overcoming anything that might come our way in our life.
Yeah.
I'm just very very pleased that you took time to come and join me this evening. I think that we're making an impact. We're raising that awareness. Let's get talking about this. Let's come up with, you know, uh, I know that together we shine a bright, bright light and we're making a
Of
difference.
course.
And we want people to know Adam Shelton has a group. Will you please name your group, Adam?
Global Abilities UK.
Okay. What's the best way to get in reach with you?
You can inbox me. My inbox is always open.
Okay. And what's your profile name that you go by there,
It's
so
this
that we
name.
know where to go? Okay, it's
It's my
Adam
name.
Shelton, right? There you go, on Facebook. And so reach out. Adam is there. He's there to help other people. That's what he does. He is a mental health first aider. He's there as a support person. You know, the LWN Foundation, our focus is to help others and to serve others, raise awareness. You know, I put up some donation stuff earlier. You know, we are a nonprofit. You know, the bottom line is that we've got some great goals with the LWN Foundation, and one of those is to open a shelter by the end of the year in Sarasota, Florida, where people that have mental health issues um, or suicide tendencies, or they're homeless, or just people that need help.
Yeah.
We're going to give them a hand up, and we're going to have resources like Adam Chelton. And I think Richard Fay, I could count on him as well, um, and others, and professional people where these people can go and get help, get the resources they need, get off the street if they ended up out in the street
Yeah.
for whatever reasons, you know. Get help them get a job, teach them some life skills, give them the support that they need. If you need medication, help them with the medications, this type of stuff. And it's going to be the first of many, because
Yeah.
the next step is to the UK. It is the next step after we've got one going here. Um, we've already talked about going to the UK. So the LWN Foundation is proud to have had Adam Chelton with us this evening. We want you to share this video out. Let people know. Let people know that there's help out there, that there's people that are willing to take their time to help you through a difficult moment in your life, or to
Of
help you
course.
through, um, you know, dealing with autism or dyspraxia or depression or anxiety. We're here to help you. So do share this video out. Let somebody know. LWN Foundation is about a connection to nature, a connection to source, and a connection to the community. It is about community.
Yeah.
I just want to put up a couple of messages here. Kimberly says, hello. Brandy is correct.
It
Consistency
is.
is the key. You have to be consistent about this stuff. And she tells us that every morning well, I guess I grabbed the wrong one here. Eventually, you'll believe in the greatness as easily as you believe in the opinions of others. And that's where this consistency comes in,
It does.
because she speaks affirmations. Okay. That's what it's about. You say those affirmations, that affirms your truths. And pretty soon, with that consistency, doing it over and over and over again, before you know it, that is the easy part, because it's a routine. It gets regular. It gets easier for you to do this stuff. Um, you know, Richard Fay says he doesn't care about the opinions of anybody, and I totally agree. You can't own some. Well, you can. We're telling you, you don't have to own other people's opinions of you. You are great. You're gifted. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you for taking time this evening with us. Um,
Yeah.
you know, if you want to make a positive impact, you can help us help somebody else. That's the whole point here. The LWN Live with Nature Foundation provides healing through nature. It's a resource of all kinds of stuff, is what we do. We're connecting with some certified, you know, healthcare professionals as well. And so we're looking forward to be able to make a positive impact in somebody's life. And if you can help us do that, we would very much appreciate that. You know, we really could use your help. If you are feeling like you wanted to help us achieve the goals that we're trying to do from a volunteer standpoint, let us know. I'm going to say this as well. We want people that are willing to go out into their communities, share the light, share the message, and go and do film outdoors and go to interesting places. And so we want to have reporters all over the world doing this stuff. And at some point we're already global. I know the message is global, but physically we want to be there too. And so we appreciate you and appreciate everything that you're doing. We appreciate you sharing this video out. If you happen to be coming back in, we're going to go ahead. We're going to get this up on YouTube. We're going to get it up on Adam's YouTube. Now you have a YouTube as well, Adam, too.
I do, yes.
Okay. What's the name of that channel?
It's my name.
There you go. I love it. Okay, so it's Adam Chelton on YouTube. We're going to get this video up there. I think you've got a couple others, as I understand. And you got a Facebook group.
Yep.
Can you repeat that name again?
Global Abilities UK.
Global Abilities UK. Join that group. It can help you. It's a support group. I also know that Richard Fay has one too as well. And then these are the kinds of people we want to help. And all the three of us know each other. All three of us.
We do. We
And,
do.
You know, I'm so blessed, is what I would say. I'd say thank you so very much. I appreciate everything that you're doing for people out there.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that you dealt with this just a couple days ago and helped somebody through thinking that they just wanted to take their own life and turn them around. God bless you. Thank you so much, Adam,
Thank you.
for everything that you're doing. Okay.
Thank you.
LWN Foundation, the LWN Foundation has a Facebook page. Go to that Facebook page. We love you to like that page for us. We want you to share this video out. If you want to go and find out more about the LWN, we do have a website. It is lwnfoundation.org. There is a donate button there. You can donate if you can do that. If you can't, don't worry about it. We understand. If you want to help us try and achieve our dreams, reach out to us. If you've got something to say, something that you know that can help make us better and then make the community better, let us know. Reach out to us, send us an email. So we appreciate everybody for taking time to join us this evening. Do you have some final thoughts here for us?
I do, yes.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. I was bullied the majority of my life for 15 years. I was bullied. I am now learned that if my kids get bullied, I act on it because I was allowed to be bullied. I've learned to act on it if my kids get bullied. If I can be happy with my life after attempting suicide, you can as well.
I'll tell you, thank you so very much, and you can. It's always up to us to achieve our dreams and our goals, and we want you to do that. Thank you, everybody. I hope that you're having a great Friday evening. Again, thank you, Adam, for joining us. Thank you to all the viewers, all the replay viewers. Let's have a wonderful weekend. If you know somebody particularly that might be thinking about taking their life, please reach out. We don't want to find out the bad news. You know, one of the things that I've recognized is that when somebody says that they're thinking about it, it's time to help them get support. By the way, we've got 800 phone numbers for all around the world on that website, lwnfoundation.org. You can reach out to all those hotline numbers and get some help. Okay. And we can try and help these people get to the help that they need so that they can go on to enjoy a great life because they've got a lot to offer. Okay. So thank you, everybody. And Adam, you have yourself a wonderful weekend, okay?
I plan to.
Okay. Thank you so very much. We'll look forward to having you back again real soon, too. One of these days, I'm going to figure out how to do Health and Wellness Wednesday on the Sunrise Daybreakers. We do broadcast every morning. Right now, it's about 6:45 because we do it with sunrise. And Mondays is Affirmation Mondays. Tuesdays is Empowerment Tuesday. So we talk about empowerment stuff. Wednesdays is Health and Wellness Wednesday. And then Thursday, Thankful Thursday. and then Love Friday, which was today. So I hope you're loving your day. It is a day to love. Yesterday we were roaring like lions out there at the celery fields,
Yeah,
you know.
that's what we have
Today,
to do.
today it's about loving yourself. That's what I talked about this morning. We want to love
Exactly.
ourselves. If you love yourself and just forget, you got to forgive yourself. Love yourself. You're gonna just start changing your life. Look in the mirror, start practicing it, even if it's hard. And even if you already do love yourself, look in the mirror and say, I love you to yourself.
Yeah.
And then the guy walking down the street, tell him, I love you. Blow their mind, you know? I hope you're having a good day. No, you don't have to tell somebody that you don't. Some people might take that wrong, but it's okay. I have love for everybody. I love you, Adam. I love all the viewers. Thank you so very much. Have a great weekend. And this is Stephen Smith, and I'm signing off from Sarasota, Florida. You're signing off from where, Adam?
From England, Lancashire, England.
Lancashire, England. I tell you, everybody have a great evening. We'll see you soon. And I'll be back on Monday for sure if I don't come back over the weekend. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye for now.